Hi, I'm Gold, otherwise known as GC Bricks on Instagram, and I make custom Lego minifigures. And just by saying that, I'm guessing some of you already have an idea in your head of what that means. Some common ones I get are, so do you mold them out of clay? No. Although some people do add clay elements to their customs, I personally don't. Another one is, do you 3D print them? No. I can't afford the type of 3D printer with enough accuracy to connect to Lego bricks. Alright, so I just told you a bunch of things that I don't do, so what exactly do I do? Well, I make what are known as Semi-Purist customs, and now you're wondering what all that jargon is, but fear not, I'll define my terms. Basically, when it comes to making custom Lego minifigures, this is spectrum of customization. On one side of the spectrum, you have amazingly talented artists like the Moose Figs, aka Dylan All the Most on Instagram, who hand paint and sculpt onto minifigures to make things like this awesome Davy Jones minifigure here. For the sake of simplicity, we'll call these painted customs from now on. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have what are known as purist customs, which are made by combining existing Lego parts into something entirely new, like this Kang the Conqueror fig by my little brother, Henry the Brickman Mox. So, I fall somewhere in between painted and purist customs. I'm willing to cut up and modify parts, but I also do my best to keep my figs in the Lego style, so to speak. So, mostly purist, but I'm okay with breaking the rules sometimes. Anyways, now that that's all cleared up, let's make a minifig. In this video, I'll be making Shang-Chi from the Marvel movie by the same name. Now, Lego did make sets from the movie, but the minifigs were, well, not the best. I mean, just look at this little side-by-side I threw together. So, first things first, I've got to find some better parts. Let me introduce you all to a purist customizer's best friend, Bricklink. Bricklink is a website that has many Lego-related functions, but the primary one, at least in my opinion, is its massive online database of every Lego part that has ever existed. You can also buy and sell individual parts or minifigures from sellers all over the world. So, I actually cheated a little bit here, because I already found pieces before this video was even a twinkle in my eye, but that's besides the point. After probably at least an hour of searching and scrolling, I've organized all the parts that I want to use into a wanted list on my account. I'll be using Bruce Wayne's hair from the Lego Batman movie, the train conductor's head from Harry Potter, the original Lego Shang-Chi torso that they made, Dom Toretto's arms from the Fast and Furious movies, and this Lego City scuba diver's legs. Alright, so now I'll just order the parts, and through the magic of editing, they'll instantly arrive. Alright, parts are here. Let's get to work. Unfortunately, the torso hasn't arrived yet, so I'll be using this plain red one as a placeholder. First off, you'll see his shirt has some, little mini coattails, so to represent that, I'm gonna use the hips from the scuba diver legs. I'll just swap out the individual legs for plain black ones, and voila. Next, let's mod the face. Honestly, I could have gone either way on the stubble here, but I decided to make my fig have just a little bit of stubble in the goatee area. However, this head has a full face of stubble, so let's grab some scotch tape and mask off the areas we want to keep. Then I'll grab my Statler eraser and erase the rest. So, this is a little more of a complex erase job, so I'll probably have to tape and retape at least 5 times. And there we go. Now, it's really important that you clean up the eraser shavings, because if you leave them for too long, they can actually start to melt into the plastic. Alright, now let's make the rings. So, I'm gonna use some ligature ties, which are the little rubber bands from, braces, the shiny things you put on your teeth. Anyways, this idea is from my buddy Wordnoff on Instagram. So, I'll just put them around the wrists like so, and there we have it. Now, I wanted to make some floating rings too, so he could swing them around like in the movie. So, I'll be putting even more braces bands onto this flame piece. I could actually fit 3 sets of braces bands onto the flame, but after sanding down this little edge, I was able to fit a 4th set. Now, any viewers with a keen eye may have noticed that the arms on my placeholder torso here are actually not the same skin tone as the head and hands I've been using. I've been using Hyperion's arms, which are LEGO's standard light nougat skin tone, but the rest of the fig is the new warm tan skin tone, which they first introduced with Din Djarin from The Mandalorian. So this is where those Dom Toretto arms come in. These arms are the right skin tone, but they don't have the red short sleeves, so let's fix that. I've already mixed up some RIT Dye More dye with 1 part acetone and 2 parts water. I might do another video on how to dye parts later, so I'll be relatively brief here. I'm using this jar lid to hold the dye, and the Stormtrooper torso is just there to hold the arms above the surface of the dye. I let that soak overnight, and here's the dyed arms. Not a perfect seam between the sleeve and the rest of the arm, but it's better than nothing. Now, after dyeing the arms, I realized that there was actually another better and probably easier way I could have made them, and that was by taking the Hyperion arms that I've been using and just dyeing the skin tone a shade darker. So that's what I ended up using instead. You know, sometimes with creative projects, you just have to pivot mid-project and adjust the way that you're looking at things. So here's a quick comparison of the 3 arms. The original Hyperion arms are at the top, the dyed Hyperion arms are in the middle, and the dyed Dom Toretto arms are at the bottom. Okay, so the official Shang-Chi minifigure finally arrived in the mail, and all we need is the torso from this, so we can just throw the rest away. Okay, so just quick little disclaimer, I didn't actually throw the parts away because I could use them for another fig in the future, but you get the point. So let's put it all together. Now, that's pretty good, but could still use a few more improvements. As you can see, he has these like black stripes around the bottom of his sleeves, so I'm gonna use some black pinstriping tape and cut it into thin strips with an X-Acto knife. And that was actually going to be the completed fig and the end of this video, but my friend the Lego Head on Instagram suggested that I use even more tape to make his collar too. So, same process as the arms, except I'll cut the tape a little thinner here, and there we go. Now let's take some pictures. I'll be using my Marvel t-shirt and this Lightyear set box to make a little white cyc, or, well, gray cyc. I decided to make half the rings here blue and half of them orange to represent the scene where Shang-Chi first takes the rings from Wenwu. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me put a ridiculous amount of effort into adding slightly more detail to a 2-inch tall plastic figure. And who knows, maybe you learned something along the way. Anyways, this is Gold, signing off.